Hi, I'm Peter Murray, and today I'd like to introduce you to the Mark Vintage Pre. This pedal is based on the preamp found in the popular Little Mark Vintage amplifier. Despite its vintage name and styling, this preamp offers you access to a wide range of both vintage and modern bass tones. It all started with a message from bass legend and Markbass artist Marcus Miller to Markbass president Marco de Virgilis. Marco liked the idea and made it a reality. This pedal is so much more than just a preamp. In this one box, you get a tube preamp, a 4-band EQ, 2 switchable EQ filters, 2 different types of drive with level and blend controls, a clean boost, a headphone practice amp with aux in and headphone out, a switchable effects loop which can also be used as a tuner output, a high-quality professional-grade DI with a transformer, and 2 high-quality digital recording outputs, all in one ruggedly designed true bypass pedal. The Mark Vintage Pre can live on your pedal board and serve as an indispensable utility pedal for live performance. Or you can bring it to recording sessions to help you capture the perfect bass tone without needing amplifiers or relying on studio gear that you're not familiar with. Or it can be your practice helper, allowing you to practice discreetly in hotel rooms, backstage, or in your own bedroom. Now let's have a closer look at all the features of this versatile tone machine. What about the tube preamp? The Mark Vintage Pre is based on the preamp found in the Little Mark Vintage amplifier and features a 12AX7 ECC83S tube that warms the tone of your bass with rich harmonics. Even just running your signal through this preamp without adding any EQ or drive results in a sweeter sound. What about the EQ section? The 4-band EQ is based on the EQ section in the Little Mark Vintage amp. The low control cuts or boosts up to 16 decibels around 70 Hz. The mid-low control cuts or boosts up to 16 decibels around 400 Hz. The mid-high control cuts or boosts up to 16 decibels around 2.5 kHz. The high control cuts or boosts up to 16 decibels around 10 kHz. You can get all kinds of tonal variations using the power of these 4 knobs. What about the EQ filters? In addition to the EQ controls, there are 2 preset EQ filters that have very practical applications. The scoop filter is based on the VPF filter found on Markbass amplifiers. This filter boosts lows and highs and cuts mids. It's an easy way to quickly get a tone that is perfect for slap, driving rock, and pick playing. The old filter is based on the VLE filter, or Vintage Loudspeaker Emulator. It cuts your highs in a way that makes your tone instantly less hi-fi and more vintage. What about the drive control? If you ever need to add some grit and sustain to your sound, the Mark Vintage Pre has you covered with 2 different drive circuits. Even if you're not going for an obviously distorted sound, Dialing in a little bit of overdrive can help your bass sit perfectly in a mix. When the pedal is powered on, the LEDs in the tube window will blink either once or twice. This tells you which drive type is selected. 1 blink for type 1, 2 blinks for type 2. You can change the drive type at any time with a long press of the drive button. A short press of the drive button will turn it on and off. The drive knob controls the intensity of the drive, ranging from a subtle overdrive to a fairly extreme distortion. On the other side, the blend knob controls the volume balance between the clean signal and the drive signal. The Type 1 drive has a scooped tone for a more pure distortion. The Type 2 drive sound is designed to increase sustain and is useful for pop and rock. What about the boost switch? The Mark Vintage Pre sports a handy boost switch, which increases your volume by 6 decibels. This is super useful for solos or featured bass fills, or simply to raise your volume without having to adjust your amp settings. I should mention that just turning the pedal on can act as a volume boost, depending on how you have the gain and master levels set. If you're not keeping the pedal on all the time and just using it occasionally for a different sound, you should take care to match the pedal's volume with your dry volume. What about the DI output? Whether you're playing live or recording at home or in a studio, the Mark Vintage Pre features a premium quality DI output with a transformer, so you can send a perfect signal to a mixer or sound interface. It's optimized to give you pure, full, rich sound at all frequencies, handling extreme transients without distortion or coloration. The DI, of course, includes a ground lift, which gets rid of any hum or signal interference you may have. And the DI signal is post-EQ, post-drive, and post-effects loop. Note that the pedal must be on in order for there to be signal sent from the DI. How do you use the Headphone practice amp? Anytime you want to practice privately, you can connect any headphones or earbuds with a mini or 1/8 of an inch plug. And if you want to play along with music on your phone, laptop, or any other audio source, plug it into the aux-in jack. Of course, this also works with apps on your phone, software on your computer, drum machines, and other audio sources. Control the instrument volume by using the volume knob on your bass and/or the gain knob. The gain affects your bass volume, but not the aux-in level. Control the level of the music you're playing along to using your phone or audio player. You can control the overall volume using the master volume. I should mention that whatever you're connected to, an amplifier, a mixer, a sound interface, the aux input will be audible through whatever you're connected to. And all of the outputs 1/4" XLR optical coaxial effect send headphone output can all be used at the same time. What about the effects loop? There's an effects loop in this pedal for stomp boxes and multi-effects units, which is pre-EQ and post-drive. What's really handy about it is that the effects loop gets bypassed when you turn the Vintage Pre off. That means you can integrate your EQ, filter, and drive settings with any effect that's in the loop and turn it all on and off with the press of one button. If you like to have a tuner engaged at all times, you can use the effect send as a tuner output. What about the digital recording outputs? The XLR DI output offers you a high-quality analog signal for recording or live sound. But thanks to a suggestion from Marcus Miller, the Mark Vintage Pre also offers something really special. There are 2 digital outputs, also known as SPDIF outputs, that allow you to send a pristine, high-fidelity digital signal directly to a computer or sound interface. There's an optical output and a coaxial output. Top quality onboard analog to digital conversion turns your analog signal into your choice of 44.1, 48, or 96 kHz digital audio. How do you use the gain and master level controls? Higher gain saturates the tube more, resulting in more sustain, warmer tone, and more harmonics. So you'll want to turn up the gain enough to get some of that delicious tube tone. It also obviously affects your overall volume. But if it starts to get too compressed or distorted for your taste, simply lower the gain. The master should simply control the volume level that is appropriate for your situation. What power does the Mark Vintage Pre require? The Vintage Pre requires 12 volts DC and 300 milliamps of current. It comes with a professional grade 12 volt power supply, which supplies the correct current for the pedal and also includes a ground connection on the negative polarity. What do the LED indicators signify? The LED inside the tube window illuminates on startup, blinking faster and faster until the tube is ready for action. Then it will flash once to indicate that distortion type 1 is selected, or it will flash twice for distortion 2. Then the LED will stay on as long as the pedal is connected to power. When your signal is clipping, this orange LED will blink fast. This is a warning that you should turn down your gain. The main LED is off when the pedal is in true bypass mode, and turns green when the Vintage Pre is active. When drive is engaged, it's flashing green. It turns red when the boost is activated. It flashes red when drive and boost are both active. What is the size and weight? The Vintage Pre weighs just under 2 pounds or 840 grams and measures 19.3 by 12.7 by 5.9 centimeters. Are there any accessories for the Mark Vintage Pre? Markbass has created this very cool shoulder bag for the Vintage Pre, the Mark Bag XS. You can use it to carry not only the Vintage Pre itself, but also the power adapter and other cables. For more information on the Mark Vintage Pre and other Markbass products, please visit the Markbass website. And to buy one, please visit your local Markbass dealer or online retailer. Thanks for watching.